Time here at Invisalign Arena tonight, an 11:15 puck drop between the NC State Icepack and the Westchester Golden Rams. Chris Lehman alongside Grace Mottau as we get set for the second game of the weekend for the Icepack. Last night, a tight one against the Temple Owls. NC State comes away 3-1 winners, and Grace, they did a really good job of establishing themselves in the offensive zone and getting a lot of zone time. It was finishing that they weren't able to get a hold of last night.
And Prasma and Kaufman's goal were highlight reel worthy, but I mean, I feel like they thought they were going to have more of a goal differential on Temple.
Absolutely. Joey Gambino was fantastic between the pipes for the Owls last night. They will face the North Carolina Tar Heels tonight, whereas last night Westchester was over in Hillsborough taking on the Tar Heels. That was a solid game as well. The Tar Heels got out to an early lead, but it was the Golden Rams who ended up winning that game. Fell behind 2-0, but ended up winning 6-3.
And you know, a team like that is kind of sneaky to score that much in the third period, so it'll be different to see tonight. I mean, who shows up to play? Both teams played last night, and we have a late night start today. So
absolutely. I think you look at that game for Westchester, I would assume, as did Temple, got in yesterday afternoon, so you wonder if maybe some bus legs early on in that game and then they get things going. So I would expect to see a little bit better start from the Golden Rams tonight. But again, for NC State, it's going to be about finishing, because last night they outshot Temple. I believe it was 39-14. Only win the game, though, 3-1, and that includes an empty netter. So getting guys in front of the net, getting traffic in front of the net, I think is going to be a focus for them here in this one.
And it truly does matter the quality of shots. You can have so many shots on net, but only a couple go in.
Yeah, and as we've mentioned, it is going to be a late one tonight. We've got an 11:15 puck drop, so we're going to be here well past midnight for this one. Hopefully the guys got some caffeine in their system, because it is going to be a very late one, and that's going to be interesting because you don't often play games, at least for NC State, you don't often play late games here in Invisalign Arena.
Yeah, and going into the morning.
Yeah. And as you look behind us, of course, no surprise, not as many fans in attendance tonight, but hopefully they'll be able to get loud for these two teams. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll take a look at the visiting Golden Rams when we come back. Welcome back to Invisalign Arena here in Morrisville, North Carolina, as we get set for NC State and Westchester University, the second of two games this weekend for both teams. And for NC State, a 3-1 win last night against Temple. It's going to be a tougher test tonight, Grace, as they take on the Westchester Golden Rams. We talked about it a little bit in the previous segment. Westchester comes in tonight 13-7 after a 6-3 win over North Carolina last night, as we talked about. Probably a bit of a slow start coming off the bus for them, but a 5-goal third period. They went in down 2-1 and ended up coming ahead 6-3 at the end of that contest. So they beat a solid team. We've seen a lot of the Tar Heels so far this season, so a good measuring stick game in terms of figuring out what exactly NC State's going to face, and they do have a couple of dangerous guys up front.
Truly, and they beat a very solid George Mason team, which NC State did fall to, and you can't go off a record alone. I mean, it truly depends on what team shows up to play.
Absolutely. And as we talked about, a couple of guys up front to keep an eye on. Zach Crane, the main one, coming into this weekend, 33 points in 20-plus games. He's one to keep an eye on tonight.
And we got to see a good bit of warm-ups, and they looked like a well-oiled machine out there. They came ready to play.
Yeah, on top of Crane, Brennan Whitaker, the other guy to keep an eye on. He has 27 points coming into the weekend, but outside of that, there aren't as many real big contributors, so for NC State, it's going to be keeping an eye on those two guys.
And last night, NC State did a phenomenal job at maintaining ozone times, but we talked about earlier about finishing. They had so many shots, but only, 3 went in.
Absolutely. And speaking of finishing, they're going to have to put the puck past Carciano tonight. Carciano actually in net last night as well for the Tar Heels. It's not easy to play on back-to-back nights as a goaltender.
No, even as a player, it's hard to play back-to-back, but when you're getting peppered by shots, that cannot be an easy task.
No, and if NC State can put up shot totals like they did last night, they're going to make it really hard on the Golden Rams. It is going to be a good test as the Golden Rams come in, as we mentioned, with a 13-7 record. But for the Icepack, they feel if they can get to their game, they're going to be able to come away with the win. We're going to take another break. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the Icepack and what they bring to the table in this late one here tonight.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
When you look at me, you might see
a person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
you'll see
a warrior mom.
An endurance athlete.
Someone with a lot of fight.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit
is unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing. Because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at cisa.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
Children exposed to poor air quality have smaller lungs and higher rates of asthma than children with good air quality. IQ Air Foundation is working to change this, providing filtration technology to school children with poor air quality through the Clean Air for Kids program, helping kids to breathe over 90% cleaner air indoors, removing barriers to learning, reducing sick days, and increasing test scores. This is all key to environmental and climate justice. Find out how you can help at IQAirFoundation.org.
Well, I'm looking good. Thank you. Just became a Real ID. What's the plan? Impromptu road trip? Actually, the plan is to fly to New York for today's product launch, and then visit the family in California, and cap it off with a girls' weekend in New Orleans. You really can just do all that. Sure, I'm a Real ID, so I'm good to board any domestic flight. Speaking of which, gotta fly. Nice. Enjoy. I'll be here.
Be your Real ID self today. To learn how, visit tsa.gov/RealID or your local DMV.
Chris Lehman and Grace Mottau back with you here at Invisalign Arena, about 5 minutes away from puck drop between NC State and Westchester. And we're going to turn our focus to the home team now. And NC State, of course, as we mentioned, coming off of a 3-1 win over Temple last night. And the main focus tonight is on finishing the chances they got. They got a lot of great chances last night. They couldn't put the puck in the back of the net. And one of the things that we talked about throughout the game was getting bodies in front. I think that's going to be a key focus tonight.
Yes, focusing on net front presence. We saw last night a lot of shots from the defense, which is a great outlet for your forwards. Cycle it up high, but it will just depend on who really can get the shots on tonight.
Absolutely. And the other story for tonight, Isaac Toyer in net. I don't think that was the initial plan, but Roberts nursing a little bit of an injury, playing it safe. He will not be in the lineup tonight. And so it'll be Isaac Toyer. That's a nice thing for NC State. They have 3 solid goaltenders that they can rely on back behind them. And so Toyer, on a little bit of short notice, will come in.
I mean, that's the story of any team. You have to have players that you can truly rely on, and I bet you Toyer will be relying heavily on his D tonight and forwards to get the puck out of the zone.
Yeah, and speaking of forwards, we're going to keep an eye on that forward group tonight, particularly Aiden Rady. I think he had another really good game last night, and he's going to be on that top line again with Prasma and Kaufman.
He totally earned that spot.
Absolutely. So we're going to keep an eye on Rady. As you can see, back behind us. They're getting set to bring the players out onto the ice. We're going to take one more break. When we come back, we'll be getting set for puck drop, and we'll have Mottau's Mottos next. We're back in Morrisville, North Carolina, just about set for puck drop between NC State and Westchester as these two teams face off. We're on the East Coast, but we're playing West Coast time tonight. Let's see if the late start has any kind of impact on these two teams. They've certainly played late games before, but this is about as late as it gets. An 11:15 scheduled puck drop, and we are right around there now. So take a look at the starting lineups for both sides. Defensively for the Westchester Golden Rams, it'll be Chase Hannon out there along with Tyler Carter, as well as Zach Crane, we mentioned earlier on the ice. Brennan Whitaker will be out there as well. The starting goaltender, Joe Cargiano. And on the NC State side, it'll be Ammon centering Johnson and Herman. It'll be Mason Payne and Eric Darlene on the back end. And as we mentioned, Isaac Toyer is in the net. They're set for the national anthem, so we'll throw it down to the ice for that. You're not winning over NC State fans with the Drake May part. Let's just.
I can only hope. My first point is Deflategate. You don't want to get deflated tonight. It's easy to lose your momentum, so you gotta keep up the tempo and help the guy out next to you. You know, keep your spirits high, even though it's a late game tonight. And the Pat slogan, "Do your job." It's as simple as it sounds. It's kind of, you know your role and you need to execute it for your teammates. And last one is Dynasty. The Pats Dynasty didn't happen overnight, so it takes playing hard-fought games during the regular season to translate to playoff opportunities.
All right. See what NC State can do with those tonight. We'll keep an eye out. NC State in their white uniforms again tonight. They'll move right to left here in period number one. In the purple uniforms, it'll be the Golden Rams moving left to right. Ammon's on the draw against Tyler Carter. Carter wins it backwards, and we're underway here at Invisalign Arena. Golden Rams shoot it deep. In on the forecheck is Zach Crane. To the far corner, they'll fight for it. Big hit from Eric Darlene to knock his man off the puck. It jars loose into the middle, loose in the slot, poked on Toyer, and he'll cover it up. Here, 21 seconds in. Good pace to start from the Golden Rams.
Westchester really, off that first face-off, pounced on that opportunity to get the puck down low.
Now they'll have an offensive zone face-off. It'll be Carter and Ammons again on the draw. You can see a speed difference immediately from Westchester to Temple last night. The Golden Rams back on the forecheck. Darlene to it in that right corner. Shovels it up the wall, but not out. Played back down low by Kenny Duffield. Around the wall, Pack back in control. Looking for Herman there. They can't connect, but the puck's all the way down the ice anyhow, and icing called on NC State, and the 5 that started on the ice still out there for the Pack. It's been a 45-second shift for them, and they're not done yet as the Golden Rams get some fresh legs out there.
Chris, I think it's a little difficult sometimes to play like a split series kind of like this, playing Temple Friday night and then a new opponent on Saturday, especially with the late start time. It's going to be difficult for NC State.
On another face-off win for Westchester. And they'll go back to work in the offensive zone. Logan Myers working for it behind the goal line. NC State comes away with it out of the board battle, worked wide to the right for Herman. Plays it forward now, Johnson. He's knocked off the puck, and it'll be picked up now by D'Alessandro, who can't clear. Back again for D'Alessandro. He'll play it forward now for Thierwolf. Thierwolf from that right wing throws it right into the glove of Toyer, and he'll swallow it up for another face-off. 1:20 gone in this first period, and right now the Golden Rams looking like the better team.
Yeah, and Toyer has faced 2 shots already, and he's really showing his presence.
Yeah, it's good to get the goaltender involved early. He hasn't faced too much dangerous as a shot comes through traffic that he kicks away. That one found its way through off the stick of Gavin Tarity. But the Golden Rams still on the attack. Slap shot from the blue line into the chest of Toyer, and he'll hold on to the rebound as Dylan Ickes laid into one. That's 4 shots in the first minute and a half now for Westchester, and NC State back on their heels.
If you're NC State, I mean, it's really hard to leave your goalie out. I mean, we're only a minute or 2 into the period. You already got 4 shots on your goalie.
NC State controls off this draw. Weak clearance from Prasba, doesn't get to the red line, and Anthony Sparrow spins it right back in. Icepack on the breakout again. Lapani under the stick of Rady. Icing waved off as it's directly on goal. Curciano will leave it there. Off the glass, the clearance, glove down and held in by Rady. He'll cycle it back behind. Now up the near wall. Tarity there. Worked across ice. It'll be skated up by Connor Stratton. Walking it in, looking to the center for Heineman. And that one skitters all the way through. Golden Rams still in the attack. Pass to the high slot, off the mark. NC State takes it away. Rady, pressured from behind, loses the puck, and it's Nick McKay. Move forward for Consackenrat. He's dispossessed, and NC State back in control. Icepack have not been able to get in on the attack quite yet. Smith plays it forward. Touched along by Gifford, but rejected at the blue line by the Golden Ram defense, and NC State will have to reset. Govea's pass to the far side, stolen. McKay shoots it in once more, and the Golden Ram forecheck goes to work. Heavy hit in the corner. NC State comes away with it. We have a delayed penalty coming up. I'm not 100% sure whether it's on NC State or Westchester. I'll have to wait and see who heads to the penalty box. But it looks like it's going to be a power play for the Golden Rams. NC State's Jack Ray will head off for 2 minutes. It is a roughing penalty.
You don't really want to be behind the 8 ball this early in the period.
Well, the roles have reversed from last night. This is what NC State did to Temple. Now Westchester sets up on the power play, dominating in the face-off circle as well. Top of the right circle, dragging, shooting was Logan Myers. That's blocked, and Austin Finch will skate it out for the penalty kill. Just gonna melt as much clock as he can. Stopped up along that left wall at the hash marks, and it'll be taken back by Westchester, and their power play will look to move forward. Played cross ice and into the zone, getting a touch to it, D'Alessandro, and now they can set up. Work back up top. Shot from Duffield right into the breadbasket of Toyer, He'll hold on. 5 shots already faced by Isaac Toyer. Minute 18 left on the power play for the Rams.
If you're Westchester right now, time is in your favor. You really want to take your time and be patient with the puck.
Zach Crane on the faceoff again, won by the Golden Rams. Won all but one faceoff so far. Walking in, shot wide off the stick of Brennan Whitaker. Mentioned him in our pregame. Second on the team in goals coming into the weekend with 11, behind just Zach Crane, who had 15. Speaking of Crane, he's got it up the right wing. Chips it around Labrizzi, and he'll chase it down in the corner. Plays it all the way around the wall for Duffield at the point. He'll look things over. Back for Myers. Down into the corner, one touch across, and they can't connect. Whitaker was on the receiving end. Duffield spins it in as he holds the zone at the blue line. And still, Westchester with pressure. Cross ice, Myers looking to the middle, too much traffic. Ammon's trying to clear. He'll glove it down and skate it out himself. 25 seconds left on the man advantage for the Golden Rams.
They've been pretty dominant on their power play.
Yeah, good chances so far for Westchester. Couple of shots down to the last 10 seconds of the penalty to Jack Ray. Gaining the zone and stopping Chase Hannon. He'll send it around behind the NC State net. Icepack able to clear. That will finish off the power play for Westchester. They're now 0 for 1. NC State and Temple were combined 0 for 5 on the power play last night. So the Icepack 3 for 3 killing penalties this weekend now. Blue line shot from Smith, sticked away by Carciano. Sawden at the far boards. Backhands it back down low. Connor Kaiser chases it down. Under some pressure, he can't clear. Puck skitters back to that far corner, trying to create some space. Gavin Tarrity behind his own net. He'll chip it up the wall. Anthony Sparrow clears, glove down by Tate Sawden, but NC State can't control. Shot from the high slot, blockered away. Gavin Tarrity was there for the Rams, and now NC State will carry it out. Just over 5 minutes gone in this first period. No score yet, but NC State has been forced to do a lot of defending early. Golden Rams back on the forecheck. Cleared back up the near wall. Govea to it at the red line. He'll skate it in with speed. Takes the shot. Getting a stick to it, though, was Ickes. NC State back to it again. It's Govea. Pass to the middle. Hits a skate. Back out to the blue line. Payne holds it in. He'll play it down low and into the near corner. Gianconti in on the forecheck. Kaiser trying to step away from pressure. NC State takes the puck away. Gifford down low, back up top now for Darlene. Skate to stick, Mason Payne, slap shot is blocked. He'll hold it in over on that far side though and shovel it back deep. Kaiser to it again. Trying to play it up the near wall. He's pinned there by Gifford. It squirts loose. It can be collected there by Melito, and he'll skate it out. So not a lot of shots on that sequence for NC State, but finally getting some pressure in the offensive end.
A little sustained ozone time too.
Mason Payne up the wall looking for Gifford. That doesn't connect. Connor Stratton to it for the Rams. He'll look rink wide and put it on the tape of Tyler Carter. Into the middle, the one-timer from Whitaker. He fans on it. In the corner, it's loose. Johnson chips it around the near side. Pinching in to hold the zone, Ickes. He'll play it all the way back around for Whitaker. Looking down the wall, that pass denied. Coming away with it, Johnson knocked off his stick, but Payne is there to dump it in, and NC State needs to get a couple fresh sets of legs. Ammon's in the corner, looking back up top, and nobody there at the defense, so NC State will retreat. Labrizzi thought it was going to come to him, and it didn't. Here goes Crane, leading goal scorer, and he gets another as the Golden Rams capitalize on a miscommunication from the Icepack. 1-0.
And what a goal by the Golden Rams.
Should be unassisted for Crane. Get another look at it. Toyer giving up just a little too much space short side. The turnover at center ice was the real issue. And I think Labrizzi thought the puck was going to slide a little bit further back to him. I think it got caught up in some slow ice. And Crane was the first to it.
And that's one of the places you really do not want to turn over the puck is the blue line and in front of the net. But if you see a player coming down on the blue line with speed, it's usually game over.
Yeah, turnovers at the blue line are very rarely don't come with a price. So we'll see what NC State can do. They're being outshot 7-1 right now. Back to work, Logan Myers. He'll skate it in for the Rams and get it down deep. Tate Sott in there now for NC State. Jars it loose and moves it along for his defensive partner on the near side. Now NC State will clear. Duffield with it, trying to play it up that far wad. Ricochets off a body to the near side. NC State back to it. Sodden intercepts the headman pass. He finds Johnson forward. Forced over to the right corner. Down low, he's got Ammons. Back up the wall, it's Lapani. He'll walk into one. Tipped just wide of the near post. Sodden trying to track it down at the blue line. Has some help from Prasma to hold the zone. Johnson plays it down deep for Ammons. Ammons pinned to the wall. He's going to kick it into the corner with Hannon on him. Lifted to the middle by Prasma. That's knocked down. And Westchester clears, but not very far. Prasma with the interception, back forward for Johnson. Left for Ammons, right side. He'll slide one wide of the net. Prasma to it again for NC State. Absorbs it and plays it deep again. And now Kenny Duffield looking forward. That misses everybody. The icing hand is up, but will be icing. Wow. Gavin Tarrity turned on the Jets and got to the puck first, but they'll blow it dead, and I think they're actually going to kind of correct this mistake, and the face-off will be at center ice instead of in the Westchester zone.
A big thing we talked about, Chris, was net front presence. I feel like NC State has kind of picked it up a little bit and got some bodies to the front.
Still need a few more shots, though. 2 shots on goal right now. But they have started to establish themselves a little bit better in the offensive zone as Kaufman wins the center ice face-off, but it's picked off at the defense. Moving forward, Anthony Sparrow. His shot rises over the top, and the rebound will be picked up on that far side by Rady. He plays it back away from pressure behind his own net. Mason Payne under pressure. He turns it over, gave it right away to Sparrow. His pass, though, intercepted, and NC State can clear. Prasma trying to separate his man from the puck, but he can't take it away. Here's Dahlin. Cross ice for Payne. He'll skate it into the neutral zone. Chips it forward, sent right back out by McKay. And Westchester needs a change, so they'll lift it in. Dahlin under pressure from Aiden Gaffney. Kaufman in to help. Dahlin again in the corner. Pestered again by Gaffney, who comes away with the puck. He's got Kaufman on him now. Kaufman takes down his man. Dahlin finds the loose puck. He'll move it forward. Getting a stick to it there was Brandon Raleigh. Couldn't control it, though. Westchester back the other way. Shot off the glove of Toyer. Sackenrath with the chance. It's been mostly Westchester here early. NC State trying to find some momentum. Tripped up in neutral ice. This might do it. A penalty coming to Dylan Ickes. And NC State will get their first chance on the power play. Grace, I really feel like they needed something like that.
I feel like this is a big shift in momentum for NC State. I mean, it's nice to have the man advantage, but it just we'll have to wait and see how NC State will respond.
Well, and the other break for NC State here is Ickes, one of the top defensemen for Westchester. I'd imagine you'd see him out there on the penalty kill here, but he's not going to be available in the penalty box. State wins the draw. Labrizzi along the blue line. Slid across for Ammons. We'll look things over. Labrizzi again. Ammons down low. He's got Johnson there. Under some pressure, slides it below the goal line. Back behind the net, it's Govea. Backhanded to Prasma. He'll elevate it across for Ammons on that far right side. To the top of the umbrella, shot from Labrizzi. Swallowed up by Carciano, and we'll get a whistle. 1:35 left on the power play.
NC State did a great job at making sure there were no wobbly pucks. I feel like when I was growing up, we were told that you want clean, crisp passes on the power play. You don't want to take the time to kind of settle a puck.
Off the face-off. Cleared up the wall. Labrizzi stepping in, but it'll be poked out and moved forward by Gavin Tarrity. Chance shorthanded for Westchester, and a save made by Toyer. A big one on Will Hershey. Now NC State has numbers back the other way on the power play. 4-on-2. Dropped off Ammons. Played back down low. Skate to stick for Johnson, and he has trouble controlling it. Westchester, another chance on the break. Here comes Hershey. Crosses the blue line to the high slot. His shot is blocked. NC State comes away with it. It's Ammons moving back forward. He's got Govea and Johnson with him. Ammons going to walk in himself, poke loose. Johnson follows it up and carries it down low. Back behind the net. Loose puck along the side of the goal. It's caught up in skates, jamming away, and Carciano able to cover it up. 50 seconds left on the man advantage for NC State. It's a back and forth play there, though.
Truly. I feel like Westchester really, when they have the puck, I mean, they're really aggressive. I feel like also on their penalty kill.
Yeah, they're not afraid to take advantage of mistakes even when they're shorthanded. Another face-off win for the Pack. Darlene down low, back across for Herman, top of the near circle. They'll look to the high slot. Patterson tied up, and it'll be shoveled out of the zone by the penalty kill of Westchester, and now a hand pass as Darlene gloved down the clearance. And so the face-off will be on top of the NC State blue line. Just 35 seconds left on the man advantage. And Grace, it was a strong start to the power play for NC State, but it feels like they've kind of tailed off a bit.
Sometimes it's really hard because you're so focused on the O-zone that you don't want to think about, oh, should I take a step back? Should I play more towards the red line? But you kind of have to have that mindset.
Face-off one, shot on goal for Westchester, shorthanded. Easy pad save for Toyer. And now NC State will skate back out with it. Kaufman with speed down the right wing. Hands it off as he gains the zone. Herman slides it through the blue paint. Nobody there in a white jersey. Darlene quickly across, right back to Herman as he got the pass from Gifford but couldn't corral it. And Westchester clears again. Power play almost over for NC State. They were 0 for 3 against the Owls last night. It's looking like they'll be 0 for 4 on the man advantage so far this weekend. And now a chance for Myers as a defenseman goes down to the back. Myers in! Blocker save made by Toyer. NC State netminder keeping them in it right now. A chance back the other way for the Pack. Kaufman finds Herman. He'll walk in down the left side. Slips it back to the middle. Backhand try for Kaufman and sliding over. Carciano makes the save. Logan Myers back forward. Made it off across the blue line. Deerwolf, they score right after they kill the penalty. Westchester adds to their lead. It's 2-0.
And Toyer was really keeping them at bay for a while. You know, he had, what, 2 one-on-0s?
Couple of breakaways. Yeah, he had to stop shorthanded. NC State's going to have to find an answer here and quick. That's one Toyer's going to want back to. I don't think he saw the shot coming from Myers.
And Myers has been phenomenal so far in this period.
So a 2-0 lead for the visitors. They'll go right back to work. Myers after it down the left wing. Smith on him. Puck dropped loose. It'll be picked up by the Golden Rams. Centering pass jammed at by Deerwolf. He couldn't put it on goal. Back out in front of the NC State net. Smith clears it out of danger. It'll be tracked down at the red line by Brennan Raleigh. He's dispossessed quickly by Altmos. And Westchester back to work again. This has been a strong start for the Golden Rams. Out shooting NC State 12-6 and leading 2-0. Finch will dump it deep. There for it, Chase Hannon. Dispossessed by Finch. Chance now for NC State to answer. Centering pass denied nicely by Huffield. NC State could have had a really good chance in point-blank range. Here's Huffield. Breaks it out up that left wall. Terity looking to the middle. He'll be settled down by Hinneman, and he'll carry it deep. Circling back behind. Playing up top. Blocker save made by Toyer on Hannon. NC State can't clear. The Hash's far side Sparrow into the middle. Shot shut down. NC State again looking to clear. Bouncing puck settled down at the blue line by Duffield. He'll look things over. Throws it through traffic. That one ricochets wide of the net. Now NC State will lift it out, but not very far. Hannon floats it back in. The Golden Rams need a change, so that'll give NC State some space to breathe here. Herman up for Johnson. Back to Herman. He's got speed into the zone, but couldn't corral the puck. It's poked away by Hannon, and the Rams will gain back control. Hannon played off the stick of Sparrow. Mason Payne off that far wall, spinning with it. Herman turns it over as it's picked off. In comes Melito. He can't put it on goal, and NC State will skate it out. Hammonds steps around his defenseman. Walking in, he's got Rady with him. Shot, it's a body, second try, misses wide, and it'll be collected now by Mottau. He leaves it there for Sakenrath to skate out. Sakenrath stopped up at the blue line. He'll turn it over to Herman. With over 5 minutes left in the period, NC State being outplayed right now by Westchester, and they ice the puck here. So an offensive zone face-off for the Golden Rams.
Westchester truly we have seen them turn on the Jets. And if you're NC State, you don't really need to match their speed. I feel like the name of the game right now, I mean, we're only in the first period, is angling, to work on trying to push them to the outside and not letting them cut to the middle.
Off the offensive zone draw, NC State wins it. The face-off circle is mostly belong to the Golden Rams. Darlene behind his own net, trying to step away from pressure, turns it over to Tyler Carter. His pass out in front, shut down. The second try doesn't get there as well. And Zach Kane throws it through the slot, but nobody's there. Still pressure, though, from Westchester. Walking down Nick McKay on the right side. He's forced into the corner, finds Carter along the goal line. And he's pressed up against the wall. NC State again can't clear. McKay has his stick break on the shot. Doesn't get through to the net. NC State still can't alleviate the zone pressure, though. Darlene slaps it back up the wall. Crane throws it caddy corner to the far side. And again, Carter the first to it for the Golden Rams. NC State really under duress right now. They've got to find a way out of the zone. And it looks like it's going to be Ammon skating it out. Right through the neutral zone. He's got Rady with him. Down the left side and into the corner. Two Rams there defensively, though, to take it away. And Westchester back in control. Prasma with pressure over on the far side. Brennan Whitaker able to move it forward for D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro into the zone. Be a one-man cycle behind the goal. To find a centering pass and can't. Turns into a four-man scrum in the corner. NC State comes away with it. Prasma trying to step around his defenseman. Can't take the puck with him, though. And it's turned over. Now Hannon. 3:36 left in the period. Past the length of the ice, misses everybody. They're going to wave off icing, so NC State has to play it. Smith steps through pressure and finds Prasma with the breakout pass. Up the left side, Prasma going to float it in. No icing here as Duffield gets to it. Playing it up that far wall, has some help from Hannon. Back for Duffield behind the net. Golden Rams will reset the breakout.
And they can take as much time as they want, really being patient with the puck. That's what the Rams have done best.
Stretch pass intercepted, NC State in offside. Gifford thought he waited long enough, but he didn't. The faceoff comes back out to neutral ice. We're 17 minutes into this one, 15-7 shots in favor of Westchester, and they lead it 2-0.
Chris, I have to give credit to Jack Ammons. You've said his name so many times, and he's one of those players that's always in on the forecheck and always in on the back check.
Breezy controls it as NC State wins the neutral zone draw. Clear and knocked down by Ickes. He'll play it forward. It'll be spun deep by Gavin Tarrity. Breezy for Gifford. Looking for space. There's not much of it. Lapani fans on the pass. He's under pressure in that far circle. Able to kick the puck loose and clear the zone at least and avoid a costly mistake in his own end. 2.5 to play. Period number 1. Westchester off to a really strong start here against NC State. Labreezy played forward for Gianconti. He's got Gifford, but Gifford retreats as NC State needs to change. Govea forward for Patterson, who sidesteps a hit but loses the puck. Ickes looking forward, on and off the stick of Sakenrath. NC State first to it. It's Darlene. Stretches it forward. He's got Patterson charging in. Finch receives the pass in tight. He scores! A big response from the Icepack. They're finally on the board, and it's 2-1.
And that all started with that stretch pass.
It should be Finch from Patterson and Darlene. Another look at it here. Patterson paid the price on the pass as well. taking the hit to make the play. So 1:56 left in the first, and NC State feeling a little bit better about where they are. Hasn't been their best period, but they're down just 2-1. See if they can build off of the goal they scored. Puck chipped out of play. Face-off will be in front of the Westchester bench here, but that was a much-needed tally, Grace, for the Icepack.
And we talked about that shift when they got that power play, but I feel like Patterson's goal really woke them up.
Darlene will shoot it in off the face-off win. NC State starting to even things up a little bit in the face-off circle. They'll turn it over at the top of the circle, and with speed, Luke Melito carries it back up. He'll be forced into the wall hard by Mason Payne. Darlene trying to clear and can't. Now Altmos trying to play it back down low. Loose puck in the corner. Reese Johnson first to it. Johnson moving forward. Slides it to the middle, turns it over to McKay. And Westchester sends it all the way down. This will be icing. And so some tired legs out there for the Golden Rams. NC State with an offensive zone draw on 1:10 on the first period clock.
I mean, we have 40 minutes of hockey left.
When you look at the game last night for the Golden Rams, they fell behind 2-0 in the first period to North Carolina, so they know that a 2-0 lead early is not safe. NC State trying to erase it pretty quickly. Another face-off win for the Pack. Smith shot through traffic. Loose there! They score! Prasma on the doorstep, and it's 2-2.
And in Prasma fashion,
two goals just 50 seconds apart, and the lead is erased.
in the right spot at the right time.
We'll see who the assists go. I think Smith will get an assist. The rebound actually deflected off the stick of Nick McKay and right to Prasma, who had an open net to tap it into. But NC State goals from Finch and Prasma 50 seconds apart. They're right back on the attack again. Prasma behind the goal, putting pressure on. Brady now spins it out in front, caught up in skates. Prasma slides it through the slot. Nobody there in a white jersey. Down to 42 seconds left in the period. Crane will chase it down for the Golden Rams. Turns it over, though, to Rady. Loose puck for Kaufman. He finds Sodden now. Sodden plays it up the near wall. Prasma plays it cross ice. Rady going to put some pressure on the defenseman, Duffield. Go the path of least resistance. Hannon, rink wide for Whitaker. Whitaker stood up at the blue line by Lapani. Now Gifford has a man charging forward. That's Connie. They can't connect, but Govea finds it in the neutral zone. 9 seconds left as Govea steps in. His shot blocker down by Carciano. NC State almost had a third late in the period. And as the clock runs out, it's a 2-2 hockey game after 20 minutes. And Grace, got to commend NC State, did not come out strong. You actually talked about it before the game. You thought NC State might come out a little flat. They did a little bit, but they found their footing.
Way to leave me out to dry there, Chris.
You were right. You were right.
I know, I was right. But, I mean, they truly did come out to play towards the end. They had to, get their footing under them. And Westchester put them up on the board to begin with, but NC State responded pretty well.
Yeah, I think if you're NC State, when you look at how really kind of the first 15 minutes of that period went, you got to feel pretty good about the way things ended. We're all square, 2 apiece. We'll be back with the first intermission.
Welcome back to Invisalign Arena. I'm Grace Mottau, joined by NC State Icepack, Austin Finch. Austin, you opened the scoring, and I really want to know, on that goal, what clicked for you personally?
Just absolutely shooting the puck as hard as I possibly can. I saw Benny get it on the half wall, and I knew he's a good passer, so I started getting my boots going and just absolutely ripped it when I got it.
So how are you guys staying focused under pressure?
our big thing is just trying to play our game and not try to get too frustrated. Like sometimes tempers flare on the bench, but we got to stay relaxed and keep our cool.
Yeah, I feel like Westchester really came out ready to play at the first whistle and at puck drop, basically. So what would you say your strengths are as a team right now?
Our strength is speed, and being physical. Like I don't know if you saw the last 2 minutes, but once we start hitting a little bit more, start stepping up on the blue line, we control the pace and we control the puck more. Like we just got to play our game. That's it.
So what are you taking from the first period into the second period?
Those last 2 minutes, everything else was not our game. We came out here sleeping. I know it's a late game, but it doesn't matter. We practice at this time, so we don't have an excuse for that.
Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm Grace Mottau, and Chris and I will be back after this.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Icepack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Icepack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better.
Oh, don't forget about hot ovens. Or hot peppers.
Hot springs, hot chocolate.
Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons. Hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese. Sorry.
Potbelly, we bring the hot.
Happy birthday, Max.
Yes! I'm Joe on the phone, here to show you 4 easy ways to stay safe online. Come on. We can secure our world. When you choose your passwords, make them strong. Use a password manager to help you along. But don't just use a password alone. Get a call, get a text, or a code on your phone.
MFA really works.
We can secure our world. When it's time to update an app, don't you hesitate. Do it ASAP.
Just like that.
Watch out for offers too good to be true. What? It's probably someone trying to take advantage of you.
Hey, that's phishing.
Let's report it. Install updates. Make better passwords. Think before you click. Use multiple factors. That's how we can secure our world. Learn more at CISA.gov/secure our world.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. These programs cover doctor's appointments, hospital visits, prescriptions, shots, and more. As parents, we get peace of mind knowing that our children are covered if they are sick or get injured. You may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if you've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
2-2 hockey game between NC State and Westchester after 20 minutes. Chris Lehman back alongside Grace Mottau, and we're going to take a look now at how that first period transpired. We talked about it at the end of the period. NC State got off to a bit of a flat start, and Westchester made them pay.
Westchester got off that bus and was ready.
This is a look at the goal from Zach Crane, the turnover that led to the opener. Crane, one of the top producers on the team, so no surprise that he gets on the score sheet. And it's one that Tyre maybe wants back a little bit as he gets beat short side.
And that was a great hockey knowledge play by Crane.
And NC State finally got their footing as the period went on. We get a look here at some pressure from NC State. It resulted in a power play from that tripping penalty, and they didn't score on the power play, but that's when they really started to turn the tides.
I said in the broadcast, that was really kind of the shift for them.
And then for the Icepack, it didn't all get better immediately. They did give up the goal there in tight, and NC State found themselves down 2-0. And when you get to that point, you look at the situation you're in this game, a late start, it's hard sometimes to get up for a game like that. When you fall behind 2-0, things could really get bad quickly. But for NC State, the end of the period was really, really strong, and it started here with the goal from Austin Finch.
And you can't let the first period set the tone for the rest of the game. And I think NC State really took that to heart. And you can just look at this highlight reel right now. They really responded after that.
Absolutely. The goal came with just under 2 minutes left in period number 1. Another look at Finch finishing it off. Carciano playing his second night in a row, so you wonder if he's starting to get a little tired as this game wears on. But NC State, just 50 seconds later, one of their top producers this season and last, Daniel Prasma, cleans one up as well.
And he was in the right spot at the right time.
And one of the things we talked about coming into tonight that NC State didn't do well last night, net front presence. They had it there on that goal.
They must have heard us talking about that.
That one from Prasma is the tire. It came with 1:06 left in the period, just 50 seconds after Austin Finch got NC State on the board for the first time. So the Icepack definitely have the momentum going into the break.
It's essentially a 0-0 game right now, though. So neither team can get comfortable with, they're tied right now.
I think if you're NC State, obviously we talk about you like the way you finish the period, but you don't want to come out flat like they did in the first period in the second. For Westchester, though, the period kind of went the other direction.
And they kept NC State under constant pressure in the beginning of the period. So it was definitely different, a little difficult for them towards the end.
I think if you draw parallels to last night as well to Temple, there's a little bit more skill on this Westchester team, but you have a couple of guys you really have to keep an eye on in Crane and Whitaker. I also throw in Gavin Tarrity as well. The speed that those guys have, they can strike quickly and they can strike on the rush.
And you have to think on the defensive zone.
Absolutely. So if they're NC State, those are the guys you're going to have to keep an eye on. We're going to step aside. When we come back, we'll take a look ahead to period number 2 after this.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Icepack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Icepack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Why are sandwiches so much better hot?
I don't know. Why does everyone love summer or hot gossip? Hotter is just better.
Oh, don't forget about hot ovens or hot peppers.
Hot springs, hot chocolate.
Hot sandwiches.
Ooh.
Hot soup, hot air balloons. Hot yoga.
I get it. Hotter is better.
Or hot melted cheese.
Sorry. Potbelly, we bring the hot.
Happy birthday, Max.
Yes! I'm Joe on the phone, here to show you 4 easy ways to stay safe online. Come on. We can secure our world when you choose your passwords. Make them strong. Use a password manager to help you along. But don't just use a password alone. Get a call, get a text, or a code on your phone.
MFA really works.
We can secure our world. When it's time to update an app, don't you hesitate. Do it ASAP.
Just like that.
Watch out for offers too good to be true. What? It's probably someone trying to take advantage of you.
Hey, that's fishy.
Let's report it. Install updates. Make better passwords. Think before you click. Use multiple factors. That's how we can secure our world. Learn more at CISA.gov/secure our world.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. These programs cover doctor's appointments, hospital visits, prescriptions, shots, and more. As parents, we get peace of mind knowing that our children are covered if they are sick or get injured. You may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if you've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
For each life moment, your kids could get free or low-cost health coverage from Medicaid or CHIP. Kids up to age 19 are covered for checkups, vaccines, dentist visits, hospital care, and more. Your kids may be eligible now, even if you've applied before. And if they already have Medicaid or CHIP, remember to renew every year. Get started now at insurekidsnow.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Closing in on period number 2 here at Invisalign Arena, NC State and Westchester tied at 2 after 20 minutes. Chris Lehman, Grace Mottau with you. We're going to take a look ahead at period number 2 now. And the first thing I want to talk about is looking at Westchester. When they got started early and when they were really playing their best, their forecheck was relentless. They were on the puck immediately, and in particular, I think they were giving NC State's defensemen trouble finding those breakout passes. They're going to have to get back to that.
And it's hard to be under constant pressure, especially in the early minutes of the period. So NC State kind of crumbled a little bit.
Yeah, and I think NC State started to figure out the forecheck a little bit as the period went on. But for the Icepack, they're going to have to make sure their zone entries are clean. You talked about that earlier on in the game. NC State really struggled to get into the zone cleanly. As a result, they were getting outshot pretty badly early. It was 7-8-1 in the first 7 or 8 minutes, and they were down 1-0. They're going to have to be able to get into the zone and establish themselves, or they're going to find themselves in a similar situation to the first period where they did a lot of defending.
And you have a period's worth of play under your belt, so you can easily anticipate certain plays, on both ends of the spectrum.
Yep. And on the other side, I think the other thing to keep an eye on for me is in net. Joe Carciano didn't see a whole lot until later in the period, and while those are 2 tough goals to give up, particularly you look at the second one, it's pinballing around in front of him. Not much he can do on that one, but I'll be interested to see how he reacts playing his second game in as many nights if NC State can continue to get pressure on him.
And you hear the band playing, everyone's getting ready to come out of the locker room, and both teams, I think, are hungry for one more.
Well, they're only minutes away from puck drop for period number 2. We'll step aside one more time when we come back. The second period coming up. NC State and Westchester tied at 2. Both teams stepping back out onto the ice as we get set for the second period. 2-2 the score. It was Zach Crane, the leading point scorer for Westchester, picking up the opening goal about 7 minutes in. Then the Golden Rams doubled their lead on the goal from Logan Myers a little over halfway through the period. After that, NC State started to get things together and get back into the offensive end, and it was Austin Finch and Daniel Prasma with a pair of goals 50 seconds apart in the final 2 minutes of the period that evened things up, and that's where we stand now. Chris Lehman, Grace Mottau with you here as we get set for the start of the second period. And Grace, that's going to be the real question is what happens to start this period? Does it look more like the beginning of the first or more like the end of the first?
Westchester was dominant in the first, I want to say half, or maybe a little more than half of that period, but NC State, they really showed up to play in the last couple of minutes.
NC State a lot of times is a team that if they can get to their game, it's hard to play with them. We've seen at times this season they played a couple of really strong opponents. We talked about last weekend in North Dakota. They gave the University of Mary a scare in that second game, forced a third period timeout. Weren't able to fully come back in that game, but they can play with the best in the country when they're able to get to their game. NC State in the white moving left to right here in period number 2. In the purple, Westchester moving right to left. Good pace to the start of this period, too. Golden Rams moving through the neutral zone. Pass misses Tyler Carter. It'll track it down behind the goal. Slaps it along for Crane. It pops off his stick. Mason Payne for NC State moves it forward. Reese Johnson now through the center of the ice. He'll chip it in for Herman to chase down. Lays it back for Johnson. Swept one across. It pops up in the air, and the Golden Rams glove it down. It'll be moved forward by Huffield. And now Chase Hannon on the forecheck. Pardon me, that's number 18, Dominic D'Alessandro. Able to get control for Westchester. Back up to the blue line, Ickes. His shot doesn't get all the way through. NC State has a chance for an odd man rush if they hurry. Prasma walking in, it's a 3-on-2. First shot blocked, rebound chipped wide as Prasma tried to go straight through the defenseman, Ickes. Now NC State will track this one down, an icing call, but better start to this period, more jump in their step for the Icepack.
And Westchester, I feel like, was kind of surprised at that.
Here's a look at the chance for Prasma. Going to go over the top of David Ickes, or Dylan Ickes, pardon me. Icepack here with an offensive zone draw after the icing call. Kaufman unable to win it. Rady trying to track it down, but it's the Golden Rams who are able to control. It's played up into the netting, and we'll get another face-off in front of Joe Cartiano.
NC State right now, you really want to kind of set up this face-off to see if you can just get a quick shot off.
Off the draw, it's tied up, pops loose. Prasma unable to get to it. Westchester skates it out. Up the near side, D'Alessandro. Sticked away on the shot by Toyer. Kaufman first to the puck. He'll chop it up the wall, down to a knee. It's held in at least initially by Thierwolf, but NC State forces it out of the zone. Rams right back on the attack though. D'Alessandro has it poked away by Lapani. Broken out for Aiden Rady. He'll skate it up the right side. Looking on Stratton. Rady taken down. Kaufman follows up with help on the forecheck. Knock it loose. Prasma trying to track it down. Sodden pinches down the wall and throws it back to the other side. Alessandro body off the puck. This is a good forecheck from NC State. Haven't really been able to control in the offensive zone, but they're not making it easy on the Golden Rams to skate it out. They will now. Gaining the red line. Stratton trying to throw it in. It deflects up into the ceiling and out of play. 17:40 to go in the second.
NC State has really been frustrating, I think, the Rams so far. It's been a night and day kind of change from the first period.
You get a look there at NC State head coach Tim Healy behind the bench. I think he's probably pleased that his team came out a little bit more jump. They're taking away the space of the Golden Rams a lot better than they were early in the game. Govea knocked off the puck in the middle of the ice. It squirts loose for Gifford to slap in deep. Altmos first to it for Westchester. McKay has to retreat. Inman plays it around the wall. Again, NC State making it difficult to clear the zone. There's Crane moving in. Hinneman looking back to the blue line. NC State disrupts the pass, but they can't clear. Floater in traffic, gets blocked down, and now the Golden Rams will have to regroup as the puck gets out of the zone. Sodden looking long for Gifford. He'll spin out of pressure down the left side. Looks to the middle. It's off a stick and out of play. NC State with another O-zone draw coming up. Well, not much offensively here in the first 3+ minutes. Just a shot aside. NC State back in the offensive zone for this face-off again. Face-off won by the Golden Rams. Rainbow pass out of the zone. Mason Payne first to it for NC State. They'll look up the near wall. He gets spun out. And the Golden Rams hold the zone for the moment. Work back up the wall for Duffield. He'll play it back down low. Taken off the wall by Kusak and Rapp. Bodied up a bit there by Finch. You can't separate him from the puck, though. Back at the blue line again, it's Hannon. Puck ricochets into the middle of the ice. Nobody there. Patterson gets to it for the Pack. They'll work it back behind the goal, looking for Brandon Raleigh up the far side. But pitching in, Hannon holds the zone again. Golden Rams starting to get to their forecheck. Raleigh pries the puck loose and lifts it down the ice. NC State needs to get some fresh legs out there. As Hannon picks up speed from behind his own net. Bang pass up the near side. It'll be shoveled in by Whitaker. Nobody on the receiving end, though, and NC State can break out again. Herman looking to spin one to Finch in the middle. They weren't on the same page. Now Finch trying to hack it up the wall, plays it into the Westchester bench. And now the Golden Rams with an offensive zone face-off.
The Golden Rams have been really doing a great job playing to their game. I mean, we've seen their forecheck. I mean, it's pretty lethal.
The one time this period so far they've been able to get into the zone, they held it and put pressure on NC State for a while. Both teams defensively, though, not giving up a lot here early on in the second. NC State wins the draw but can't clear. Held in at the blue line by Ickes. Throw it back deep. Battle along the wall. Tyler Carter comes away with it.
Looking back to the blue line, Johnson denies that passing lane. So the Rams go back below the goal line. Behind the net, Whitaker steps out of pressure but loses the puck. Labrizzi finds Herman forward. He'll touch it along for Hammonds. Back across, misses the outstretched stick of Johnson. Rams can shut that down quickly. Herman will deflect it in to negate the icing call. Now Westchester will play it forward. Aerial pass well down by Whitaker, but he turns it over. Takes it right back. Now Herman steals the breakout pass. Easy D to D for Lapani. Looking forward for Johnson. That deflected by Tyler Carter. NC State still able to dump it in and get some fresh defensemen out there. Whitaker hasn't caught up in his skates. So help there from Carter. Whitaker going to skate it forward himself. He's got Crane moving forward with him as well as Connor Stratton. Whitaker to the net, lifts it over the shoulder of Toyer and wide. Now NC State's got speed back the other way. Hammond's pass is picked off though, and Dalen Ickes will shoot it in once more.
I feel like it's crucial right now to keep being in this game.
Myers up top, throws one through, a split save by Toyer, and he'll hold on to the rebound. One of the best chances of this period for either side. 14-16 left here in the second. We'll get another look at that shot. Nice play on the rebound by Toyer. But NC State forced to defend a little bit more here in the last couple minutes. Kaufman wins another defensive zone draw. NC State can work to break out. One-timer from the point, gloved and held onto by Toyer. As Nick McKay stepped into one. They'll do it all over again.
A quick reset.
Aiden Deerwolf on the draw for the Golden Rams up against Holden Kaufman. NC State wins the draw, can't clear still. Bouncing puck does eventually escape the zone. Prasma will sweep it across to the near side. Aiden Rady unable to win the foot race though. Good pressure and NC State takes over anyhow. Prasma stepping through his defenseman there at Altmos, but loses the puck in the process. And now Westchester moves it out. Deerwolf at the red line, dumps it in. Toyer settles it along the side of the goal to be slapped around by Jack Ray. Along the hashes now, Myers has some help there, but it's kicked loose, and NC State will be able to possess it into the neutral zone. Prasma lifts it in. The Icepack need a change, and they'll get one. Westchester trying to take advantage of that. Deerwolf fires it high and wide. Rebound all the way out for Holden Kaufman. His centering pass denied. Gets back to it and plays it down low. Below the goal line, Gifford looking out in front. That pass doesn't make it through. Now Govea down into the corner again. Gifford unable to find Gian Connie, but Darlene will pinch in to hold it in the corner. Getting some help now from Connie in a four-man scrum. It'll be funneled back around by Deerwolf. Now Gifford with the pressure. Lifted up, and a bouncing puck through the neutral zone, eventually settled down by Darlene. Blue line to blue line. He's got Gifford into the zone. His shot disrupted by the stick of Altmos, but he's back to it behind the goal. Gifford out in front, deflects back to the blue line. Payne across for Darlene. He'll take the shot that deflects wide to the near post, and this time it's the Golden Rams to it. They'll clear it out. It's very much been a back and forth game. Both teams getting their opportunities in the offensive zone here this period. NC State back in control again. Mason Payne has space down the right side. He'll float it right in on Carciano, who sticks it into the corner. Played all the way around. NC State's Darlene keeps it in again. Goes across ice. Patterson, one-timer off the wall, fought off by Carciano. It'll be carried out again by the Golden Rams. Gavin Tarady had a great first period. Haven't heard much from him here in the second. He's able to get the puck deep, but not much more, as NC State reverses back the other way with it. Finch wides into the zone, button hooks along the hashes. Now walking the blue line. Spins it back down low, looking for Labrizzi, who fights for it, wins that battle at the blue line and keeps it in. Following up with the skate, Brandon Raleigh plays it down low. Along the goal line. Pass out in front, hits a body and ends up in the corner.
Breezy from the blue line, deflected in! What a tip in front by Raleigh, and NC State with their third straight takes the lead.
And what a goal.
Not much you can do there if you're Cargiano either.
I think that was kind of like an awkward bounce.
And you can see the reaction of Cargiano there. That puck with a big change of direction. Look at that. Great play.
That does a lot for NC State getting the first one in the second period.
Westchester going to go right back to work here. Skating it in, Ickes throws it right into the glove of Toyer from a bad angle. And the NC State goaltender will hold on.
In hockey, a huge thing after getting scored on is your recovery. How are you going to respond?
Well, and if you score the goal in your NC State here, you can't just sit back and enjoy the lead. This Westchester team has some weapons that can make you pay. Stratton pins the clearance to the board. He'll walk it in himself. Blocker save made. Rebound, and he gets it with the glove. Toyer with two big saves at the top of his crease there.
NC State has really relied on him so far.
Yeah, sometimes maybe a little bit too much here in this one so far, but he comes up big again. As Westchester continues to pressure. Hayden Gaffney on the draw, but it's Ammons with the win for NC State. In the corner, loose puck finds Herman. He fans on a centering pass and will be stolen away, but the captain pokes it back out of the zone, right off the stick of the second ref. Johnson steps away from a hit. Loose puck. Ammons to it first. He can't control it, and now Smith will throw it right in on goal. NC State offsides, though. They've got to check up. The far side, Westchester will gain the zone. It gets past Toyer on the dumping. And now the Golden Rams can set up. Gaffney across for Ickes. His shot blockered away by Toyer. Down low for Whitaker. He's pinned to the wall by Smith. Help coming in. Zach Crane looking to the middle. Pass intercepted by Reese Johnson. They'll play it forward for Ammons. NC State on the attack. Ammons' pass to the middle is shut down. In the corner, it's thrown back around. No one there for NC State at the blue line. Whitaker wins the board battle. Skates it in himself, looking for some reinforcements coming in. Pass shut down, though, by Darlene. He's got Crane on him now. Darlene trying to skate out of pressure. Pokes the puck out of the zone and out of danger. Sent right back in, though, by Altmos. Asmus clearance blocked down. He gets back to the puck, though. Receives the pass from Sodden and then throws it down for icing. Westchester, despite giving up the last 3 goals, continuing to press. They've had a few chances and haven't quite been able to equal things up.
I feel like both teams are kind of glad for that stoppage right there. It was a lot of back and forth hockey.
Fortunately for NC State, they aren't able to make a change, so tired legs against fresh legs a bit here. Kaufman on the face-off for NC State up against Aiden Deerwolf, who wins it for the Golden Rams. Swept towards the goal, deflects over, and getting to the post in time, Toyer seals it off. That looks similar to the way NC State's Prasma scored late in the first period, but unfortunately for Nick McKay, Toyer able to get there in time.
And another great save by Toyer.
The other thing you could see there on the replay, McKay a little bit handcuffed on the rebound. Couldn't get a lot on it, couldn't elevate it. And so Toyer getting to the post in time was enough. Here's Prasma forward off the draw. He'll skate it down the left side and in. Works through some pressure, tries to slide it out in front on the wraparound. It's sent right back to him. Loose on the side of the goal. Brady can't get a piece of it. And now Westchester will try and settle things down. Move through the middle, Delisandra. Into the zone, he'll just shoot it around the wall. Behind the goal, Myers gets to it. He'll loop back up the near side, looking to the middle, finds a defenseman top of the circle there in hand and thrown to the middle, and they score. Logan Myers picks up his second of the night, and we're tied at 3.
And I mean, I said it was a little bit of back and forth hockey. I mean, talk about a ping pong game. We're back to being tied.
Unfortunately for Toyer, I don't think he could do a whole lot off of that bounce. But that's, I think, what it's going to come down to for both of these teams. It's how the majority of the goals have been scored, just chaos in front of the net and finding the loose puck with an open lane to the goal. Here's Gifford as NC State advances off the center ice face-up. Centering pass deflected away from Gianconti. Good heavy hit from Lapani, but he can't find the puck in the process. Bouncing puck through the neutral zone. Westchester offside here. And we'll get a whistle, and the puck will come back out on top of the NC State blue line. Here's another look at that goal. Just kind of caroms through. You can see the reaction of Toyer. He did not know where it was.
I think he got a little tripped up outside the crease too.
I believe Chase Hannon will get an assist on that goal as well. Either way, it's a 3-3 hockey game. NC State would love to regain the lead here. Walking in, Gifford shoots one just over. It ricochets back out in front. The rebound loose on the side of the goal, and NC State can't put it on net. Without a stick there, Whitaker just kicks it out of the zone. Lapani will send it right back in on Carciano, who gloves it down and hands it off for Hannon. Puck cleared out at the red line. Labrizzi swats at it. He's settled now by Will Hershey. Across for Tarity, and the Golden Rams are offsides.
In this game, there have been a lot of one-on-one battles, I feel like, and a lot of 50-50 pucks that haven't been won by either team.
Let's look at that last chance on the side of the net for NC State. Shots are 25-17 right now, favoring the Golden Rams. They outshot NC State 15-11. Last period, it's 10-6 in favor of the visitors here in the second in the shot category. Cam Smith in control for NC State, looking up that far wall, on and off the stick of Brennan. Raleigh. Puck finds its way to Patterson. Finch has it taken off of his stick. Raleigh with the follow-up, plays it into the zone. Patterson on the forecheck will look to put pressure on Brennan Whitaker. Swinging behind Stratton. Shot all the way down the ice now by Sparrow. I think he thought he'd have a teammate streaking after it, but instead it will be icing with 7:15 to go in the period.
Sparrow had the right idea. That's a hockey IQ play. If you have a kind of like a cross-ice dump and you have a winger or center right there to pick it up. But unfortunately it wasn't icing.
Risk reward there, so NC State will get the offensive zone draw. Ammons to take it for the Pack. He wins it backwards to the wall. Herman plays it along for Smith. His shot hits a body and ends up in the corner. Back behind the net, it's left for Anthony Sparrow. Cross ice pass. Tough to handle for Ickes, but he's got plenty of time and space. Played forward off the stick of Cam Smith. That will negate icing. NC State's Jack Ray to Smith. Spud back behind the goal for Ray. He's got Herman up the wall, misses his target though. Ickes will play it back in. Bouncing puck off of Toyer and out in front. Nobody there, fortunately. And NC State able to clear it back up. Tracking it down to the defenseman Stratton. Sends it right back up the middle. Melito with it there. Moves it forward now for Gaffney. He'll step across the blue line. Works back to the near side. Thrown right into Toyer. We had a collision in front and a penalty coming. Jack Ray going to the box. And it's a power play for the Rams. NC State not happy with it.
We got a look at the Rams power play in the first period, and it was pretty solid, I have to say.
It's going to be a hooking penalty. So the second power play of the game for Westchester. Both teams 0 for 1 so far in this contest. We have not seen a power play goal here yet this weekend. NC State and Temple were combined 0 for 5 last night. Oh, Austin Finch almost took one away for a shorthanded breakaway. Huffield misplayed it, but Westchester holds the zone. Back up for Whitaker. Across for Duffield. No walk the line. Swaps places with Whitaker. Throws it through traffic and misses the far post. And now Darlene can clear the length of the ice.
I have to say that no look behind the back pass is kind of risky on the power play.
Speed through the neutral zone for Nick McKay. He'll carry it in behind the net. Looks up the near wall. Zach Crane for Duffield, who gives it back. Crane laying it down low, walking the goal line shot. Rebound is there, loose along the goal, and it's up into the netting. A couple of good chances for Logan Myers and company, but they weren't able to find the back of the net. 1:11 left on the power play.
If Myers had an extra second, that would have been probably his third one of the night.
It looks like Toyer might have gotten a blocker to it as well. Toyer has looked really composed amidst the chaos so far.
And that's a great quality for a goalie. That's exactly what you want to see.
Crane on the face-off against NC State's Ammons. Westchester will control. Duffield lays it along for Myers. Back across Whitaker into the middle. One-timer off a skate of Crane in front. And it ends up in the side of the goal. NC State will clear it all the way down. Over halfway through the penalty to Jack Ray. Just over 5 minutes left in the period. 3-3 the score between NC State and Westchester. Lapani at the blue line, and this one pops up into the bench of Westchester. Some finger pointing about where the face-off should be. Get another look at that last chance for the Golden Rams. You see it there. Now, you look at the replay, and there is no replay in this league, but whether or not the official over there would have ruled it or not, it was a little bit of a kick from Crane had it gone in the net. It's been a really good power play from Westchester so far. Loose in the slot, backhand try, blocker save, but it's stuffed in on the rebound. It's finished off by Dylan Hinneman, and it's 4-3 Golden Rams. NC State not happy about something here. We'll look at the replay, see if we can figure out what. Not 100% sure what there. That was a pretty clean looking play. Unfortunately for NC State, they give up the power play goal. And they fall behind again.
Westchester had great puck movement on their power play. And it ended up in their favor.
The best power play that we've seen, not just from a result standpoint, I would say. NC State going to look for an answer quickly, though. Scored all their goals in the first period late in the frame. We'll see if they can find some similar success. But first, they're going to need some help here. Chasing it down, Sparrow for Westchester. His drop pass is picked off, though, and NC State moves back up on an odd man rush. Brady down the right wing. He'll look things over. Played to the middle, and he throws it off the glass. This one rides the wall. Kicks out into the middle off the stanchion for the Golden Rams to move forward with. Shot misses the glove side of Toyer from the high slot. Brady first to it. They'll get it back now from Sodden in the corner. 4:10 left in the period. Golden Rams up 4-3. Sticked wide by Toyer on the shot from the boards. Behind the net, Sodden first to it for NC State. Trying to skate away from pressure, but a relentless forecheck here from the Golden Rams. Walking in again, Ickes. He'll carry it behind, looking out in front. They score again. Great play by the defenseman, Ickes. And that is the third straight for Westchester. It's 5-3.
This line has some great chemistry. He knew who was in the slot and just Hail Mary past it.
2 goals a minute and 1 second apart. NC State reeling a bit now. Still time left to clean things up if you're NC State here in the second. I think if you're the Icepack, you really would love to get one back before you go to the locker room. A bit of a disconnect. Gifford to it. Takes a hit as he hands it off, and NC State will carry it in. Govea walking through traffic in the high slot. He scores! What an individual effort from the alternate captain, and he shows the leadership when NC State needs it most. It's back to a 1-goal game.
else but Joey Gobea? Such a standout leader. And he showed the Icepack that there's still a lot of hockey left to be played.
That goal comes just 23 seconds after Westchester made it 5-3. And there's still 3.5 minutes left in this period. A lot of goals tonight. 5-4 is the score. As Darlene will send the puck in for NC State to go after it. Behind the net, Carciano. Up the far wall to be shoveled to the blue line. Knocked down by Darlene, but he can't hold the zone. Pops out of play as Westchester tries to force their way into the zone. 2:54 on the clock on the stoppage, but this has been a very entertaining game as these two teams have continually gone back and forth. Offensive zone draw here for the Golden Rams. It'll be Zach Crane against Austin Finch. Wins the face-off. Lapani off the glass, but it'll be gloved down at the blue line by Altmost. Now NC State will try again to clear. Raleigh played off the wall for Patterson. Altmost to it. Goes D to D. Headman pass ends up on the stick of Labrizzi. He finds Finch at the blue line. 2.5 to go in the period. Pass forward for Patterson, misses everybody but no icing. Patterson chasing it down, bodies up McKay, but the Golden Rams able to move it up the wall. Lapani holds the line. Johnson pokes it forward and gets to it in the corner. He'll play it back behind for Ammons, who's dispossessed. Westchester trying to clear. Able to get it out of the zone, but not much further. Lapani at his own bench, throws it deep into the far corner. Now McKay with 2 minutes left in the period. Breezy stepping up at the red line on Brennan. Whitaker bouncing puck, shoveled along. Lapani has it. Now Ammons plays it off the boards. He's got Herman breaking in. Herman wrapping around the net, looking for a passing lane. Finds an open man there, and NC State gets a chance but can't finish. Ammons on the one-timer. Good hustle from Johnson to knock the puck loose. NC State in control. Ray has trouble with a bouncing puck. And now Whitaker will play it into the netting. I believe the face-off will come back out into neutral ice here.
And NC State, after that goal, they really turned up the intensity.
Well, consistency is certainly something we've talked about a good amount over the past couple of seasons for NC State. Throughout this game, their play hasn't necessarily been consistent, but they've done a pretty good job bouncing back from adversity. Still down 5-4 here in the second, though. 1:22 left in the period. Johnson in on the forecheck in the corner. Rams able to handle it, but they can't clear. Herman now settles the puck in that far corner. Pinned to the wall by Chase Hannon. Rams come away with it, and now a penalty coming up to Westchester. At NC State, Zach Herman is staying down right now. That's not a good sign for the Icepack. And not a smart play. I don't think the NC State bench is very happy with this. Love to see the replay. As Herman's one of the tougher guys on this team. It took him a while to get up, but he is up of his own accord and heading to the bench. But you can see Coach Healy there. He is going to have a discussion with the official based on what I could hear, the volume that he was speaking with earlier. I think he's going to want 5 minutes out of this. See if we can't get a look at it here in the corner. Look there at the last chance for NC State, but we'll wait to see what the call is here. I'm not sure there's a penalty at all. I'm not sure why they stopped play. I assumed it was for a penalty behind the play, but that's not what it was.
You never really want to see your captain get injured, and it's really hard, especially since Herman's so tough, to see him down like that.
Well, and hopefully he'll be back on the ice for the third period. I would imagine that was his last shift either way with a minute left in the second. Block shot all the way down. Icing is the call with 53.7 seconds left in the period. NC State's got Kaufman, Rady, and Prasma out there, the top forward line. Gonna try to set something up here late in the period and tie things up once again. Puck cleared out off the face-off. Ray at the red line gloves it down. He'll wait for everyone to check up and carry it down the right side himself. Slides it down along the wall behind the net. Prasma trying to drag it out in front. Gets back to it in the corner. His pass picked off though and cleared up the wall and out. It bounces past Sudden and he'll have to chase it down. Bouncing puck. Hacked at, cleared by Rady with 23 seconds to go. Chase Hannon throws it back in off the glass. Sodden wrists it around the wall. Kept in and thrown off the blocker of Toyer by Stratton. 9 seconds left in the period. Last chance for Westchester, deflected wide by Thierwolf. And the clock will bleed out over on the far wall. And quite a period between NC State and Westchester. The Golden Rams will take a 5-4 lead into period number 3. They've outshot NC State 30-19 so far. But if you're the Icepack, you're gonna have to have a consistent third period, Grace.
And right now we're watching both teams kind of go to their respective locker rooms, but it looks like
the tension there at the end of the period, no doubt about that. I think head coach Tim Healy still not happy about the non-call on his captain who was down there late in the period. So NC State and Westchester headed to their respective locker rooms. Should be a very interesting final 20 minutes, but the Golden Rams at the moment hold the advantage. It's 5-4 Westchester after 40 minutes. We'll be back with the second intermission after this.
Welcome back to Invisalign Arena. I'm Grace Mottau, joined by NC State coach Alex Zetto. So, you're able to play 3 goalies. How much of that is an asset to you guys?
You know, it's a huge asset. It's something we haven't had in years past, but like this year, it's fantastic to be able to rotate through these 3 and just get a consistent performance on all 3 of them. So.
And I feel like this roster has a ton of depth.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not just the goalies; it's the forwards, it's the defense. This is one of the strongest rosters we've ever had.
I mean, everything makes up a whole roster. I mean, you come to play 60 minutes every day, and you kind of hope that everyone shows up to play.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that's the key. They have to come here and be ready, right? They can't take a shift off. Everything's got to be, they got to play like we're here to win. So.
It's already a high-scoring game so far. So how do you guys plan to limit Westchester's chances?
Yeah. It's a barn burner. Yeah. That's something we got to do. We got to really take away those high-scoring opportunities. Keep the shots to the side, pick up the guys in front of the net, and really help out Isaac, right? So.
He's been having a phenomenal game so far. I mean, He's been tested, but he's kind of stood up against that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I can't blame him for a lot of these goals. Like I said, it's up to us to pick up those guys out front.
So what's the message for the third period?
For me, it's going to be, we have to start getting those 50-50 puck battles, finishing up those checks, and then help out Isaac a little bit.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
No problem. Thank you.
Chris will be back after this.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go. From ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make. With bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
When you look at me, you might see
a person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
you'll see
a warrior mom,
an endurance athlete,
someone with a lot of fight.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit
is unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at cisa.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
Children exposed to poor air quality have smaller lungs and higher rates of asthma than children with good air quality. IQ Air Foundation is working to change this, providing filtration technology to school children with poor air quality through the Clean Air for Kids program, helping kids to breathe over 90% cleaner air indoors, removing barriers to learning, reducing sick days, and increasing test scores. This is all key to environmental and climate justice. Find out how you can help at iqairfoundation.org.
Well, I'm looking good. Thank you. Just became a real ID. What's the plan? Impromptu road trip? Actually, the plan is to fly to New York for today's product launch, and then visit the family in California and cap it off with a girls' weekend in New Orleans. You really can just do all that. Sure, I'm a real ID, so I'm good to board any domestic flight. Speaking of which, gotta fly. Nice. Enjoy. I'll be here.
Be your Real ID self today. To learn how, visit tsa.gov/realid or your local DMV.
Chris Lehman back alongside Grace Mottau after 2 periods. NC State trailing Westchester 5-4. We're going to take a look at the highlights from period number 2. Plenty of goals to take a look at here, Grace. 5 of them in total, and it starts with that one from NC State's Brandon Raleigh. An excellent tip to give them the lead.
And I have to say, it's kind of an art. I mean, you have no idea where the puck's going to go when you're trying to tip it, but he really did master that.
And then after that, it was all about the Golden Rams as they were able to find the back of the net on that one. It was Logan Myers who finished things off, and you had to look there at Toyer. We talked about that during the game. Lost his footing a little bit, and NC State. This is a team in Westchester. We talked about some similarities between them and Temple. One thing that's different is Westchester has done a better job of making NC State pay for their mistakes.
They have been applying so much pressure in the offensive zone, and sometimes NC State can't really match that.
And as a result, you get a look there at the goal that gave Westchester that lead. And they were able to eventually move it up to actually 5-3 at one point. But that's one thing you have to keep an eye on for NC State. They bounced back really well. There's the goal. It's an excellent play from the back by Dylan Ickes to bring it back behind. And if you're a goaltender, that's a tough one to stop when the puck goes from below the goal line to out in front.
I just spoke with Coach Rosetto, and he was saying Toyer has been playing amazing, and he really hopes that NC State's D and forwards can help him out just a little bit going into third period.
Well, and sometimes you need your leaders to lead by example, and that's exactly what Joey Govea does here. Less than a minute after NC State fell behind by 2, it's their alternate captain with an excellent individual effort there to make it a 5-4 game. That's where we stand now, but for NC State, still a lot of work to do headed to the final 20 minutes.
And it's really hard to be down by 1 going into the third period. I mean, it's hard to be down by any goal, any amount of goals, but it'll be interesting to see how NC State responds to that. I mean, they scored, they had a really great goal by their assistant captain, Govea, and he kind of, I feel like, got the momentum going after that.
Well, and the other thing to watch for as the team comes out for period number 3 is their captain, Zach Herman. He went down behind the play and was a little bit slow getting up. We'll have to see where he is when period number 3 starts. Speaking of period number 3, we're going to talk about what to expect in the final 20 minutes when we return. Closing in on the third and final period between NC State and Westchester, a 5-4 lead for the Golden Rams. Chris Lehman alongside Grace Mottau. And Grace, as we look ahead at period number 3, I think we talked about the potential injury to Zach Herman, whether or not he will be back, but the thing that makes that so interesting to me is how that will impact the demeanor of both teams going into period number 3, because NC State obviously felt like they should have had a power play out of that, and when you add into that the fact that it was their captain that was the one taken down, that elevates the tempers, I think, a little bit more. So I'll be interested to see how that impacts these two teams in the final period.
It's really hard to see your captain go down like that. I mean, that's someone so many teammates look up to, and a guy in the locker room that's always happy, bringing the energy. So tensions are rising. So if you're NC State, you want to play with patience. You don't want to draw a penalty and give Westchester the upper hand.
Absolutely. And on top of that, Zach Herman, there are captains who were there as locker room leaders. They're not necessarily the guys who are going to produce for you on the scoreboard. Herman, on top of being that locker room guy, is a guy who can impact the score sheet as well. So there's that added aspect to it. But the other guy that can really impact the score sheet is between the pipes. Isaac Torrey, as we've talked about, even though there are 5 goals on the board, he's looked really strong tonight, and the boys in front of him are really going to have to help him out in the third period and get back even.
I feel like he was definitely peppered with a lot of shots in the second period.
Yeah, and that's really been the recipe for success for both teams. We talked about it after that 4th goal for the Golden Rams. A lot of these have been kind of dirty, grimy goals right around the crease, right around the net. And, there's only so much you can do as a goaltender. And if you're NC State, you got to keep things clear for Toyer.
I feel like Westchester really has been pouncing on Toyer's ability to move from post to post. I feel like they've been getting all of their goals by making him move.
And the other thing NC State's going to have to do in the third period is get a little bit more shots on goal. They had 39 shots on Temple last night. Right now they're sitting at 19 after 2 periods. They're being outshot 30-19. They need a few more opportunities.
And we talked about net front presence. I mean, you need the shots, but you also need the net front presence.
Absolutely. NC State has cleaned up a couple of goals so far tonight, but I think they have gotten away from the front of the net a little bit as this game has worn on. Well, it should be a very exciting final 20 minutes. NC State trailing Westchester 5-4. We'll be back with period number 3.
At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
We talk forever about the future. Worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go. From ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make. With bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
When you look at me, you might see
a person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
you'll see
a warrior mom,
an endurance athlete,
someone with a lot of fight.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson's Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit
is unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at CISA.gov/secure our world. Then share them with family and friends.
Children exposed to poor air quality have smaller lungs and higher rates of asthma than children with good air quality. IQ Air Foundation is working to change this, providing filtration technology to school children with poor air quality through the Clean Air for Kids program, helping kids to breathe over 90% cleaner air indoors, removing barriers to learning, reducing sick days, and increasing test scores. This is all key to environmental and climate justice. Find out how you can help at iqairfoundation.org.
Well, I'm looking good. Thank you. Just became a real ID. What's the plan? Impromptu road trip? Actually, the plan is to fly to New York for today's product launch, and then visit the family in California and cap it off with a girls' weekend in New Orleans. You really can just do all that. Sure, I'm a real ID, so I'm good to board any domestic flight. Speaking of which, gotta fly. Nice. Enjoy. I'll be here.
Be your Real ID self today. To learn how, visit tsa.gov/realid or your local DMV.
The all-new ESPN app has arrived. It's all of ESPN all in one place. It's your home for the most and best live sports in a whole new way to experience ESPN. With over 47,000 live events, studio shows, and ESPN originals, and brand new features, it's a sports fan's dream. Track your fantasy team while you watch TV, or check out Multiview and watch up to 4 games at once. The future of sports has arrived, and it's called ESPN. So download the ESPN app on your TV or mobile device, log in, and start streaming.
We're ready to go for period number 3 here at Invisalign Arena. It is after 1 o'clock in the morning here on Sunday, January 10th. We started this game on January 9th. Or pardon me, it's January 11th, I believe now. It's late, so the dates are getting a little mixed up. But we're ready to start period number 3. NC State in the white will move right to left. And in the purple, moving left to right, are the Westchester Golden Rams. Westchester with a 5-4 lead headed into this final period. And they'll win the opening face-off to start the third. Chipped in, Mason Payne first to it for the Pack behind the net. Leaves it for Darlene to collect. They'll move it up the far wall. NC State's captain, Zach Herman, out there. That's good to see for the Pack. As the puck stripped away, and now it will pop up into the netting behind the goal. And we get our first stoppage 24 seconds into the period.
Chris, we didn't know if Zach was going to return to the ice, so it's nice to see him out there starting.
Talked about his leadership on and off the ice is important. Just get a look at him up close down in that corner. Defensive zone draw for the Icepack. Zach Crane will take it for the Golden Rams. NC State able to possess. Move it up and out. Johnson trying to chase it down in the offensive zone. Chase Hannon to it. Westchester looks to break up and out. Crane plays it along for Whitaker. It catches his skates, and NC State takes over on the turnover. Ammons moving in off the pad of Carciano. That far corner, Herman there for it. Knocks it down low. It'll be collected by the defenseman Duffield. Carter plays it out. Bouncing puck will trickle in towards the net. Icing is waved off, so NC State will play it. Mason Payne picking up speed. Weaves through the neutral zone. Carries it down the left side, throws it on goal, stick saved to Carciano. Picked up by Prasma. Stops at the blue line and throws it off the glass back down deep. Kaufman to it in the corner. Has some pressure there as he tries to skate it out. Prasma has it there. He lost an edge, and it's taken over by Westchester, carried out by D'Alessandro. They'll lug it down the right wing, top of the circle, wrists one well wide of the net. And now Rady puts a body on a man there, but can't clear the zone. Now a penalty coming up on NC State. As we had some contact high in the Icepack zone that knocked down Aiden Thierwolf.
NC State's playing with some vengeance. You know, they hit their captain, and Prasma kind of responded.
Look for a replay. It's a roughing call here. Look at it.
The elbow went up on that, I have to say, looking from our angle.
I can see why NC State is not happy with the call. And it looked more shoulder to shoulder, and
you know, Therrell was kind of turning away from the play. I think if you're NC State down a goal and not getting the call they wanted earlier in the second period, they're a little bit upset with that. Quick shot off the face-off, handled by Toyer. This will be the third power play for the Golden Rams, who are 1 for 2 tonight.
And I said in the second period, the Golden Rams have had fantastic puck movement on their power play.
NC State's going to win this face-off and clear at the length of the ice to kill off some of this penalty. As you alluded to, Grace, though, when Westchester gets set up, they can make it tough to defend their power play. Crane will play the chip and chase game. Behind the net, Lapani slaps it around the wall, but not out. Duffield over for Whitaker. His shot deflected wide. NC State to the loose puck, and it's wristed the length of the ice. Austin Finch going to put some pressure on shorthand. Field plays around for Whitaker, but Finch wins the battle and just chips it back down low. 1:10 left on the man advantage for the Golden Rams. Myers, plenty of time and space in neutral ice. Leaves it for Crane at the blue line. No play at rink wide. So we'll get down D'Alessandro. Handing it off for Hannon. They'll look to the top of the right circle. Myers again, surveys the lane. Stops at the blue line, down to 45 seconds left on the man advantage. Hannon, right across back to the middle, and NC State breaks that pass up. Toyer having to go back and forth there, was going to have trouble if a shot had come through. He's Hannon again. Whitaker, this slap pass deflects behind the goal, loose along the side. Golden Rams back to it. Up for Hannon again, 20 seconds left on the man advantage. Looking for a shooting lane, it's not there. They'll work it down into the corner for Myers again. Back up to Hannon. Look across, Whitaker into the slot. Backhander shoveled high by Crane. And now NC State will be able to clear it out and finish the power play off.
On the power play, you really want to draw in those defenders, but also make them move and make the goalie move. I think Westchester did a great job with that, but didn't really get a lot of shots off.
Now NC State a chance to be a little more aggressive at 5-on-5. Past the length of the ice is delayed by the NC State defense. That will force a delayed offside, and now NC State can regroup. Payne up for Prasma, has trouble with a bouncing puck. It's Darlene again. Brady will dump it in. After it, Prasma into the near corner. He's got Stratton on him. Stratton strips him of the puck, moves it across to his defensive partner, Ickes, who clears. And this is likely to be icing. Oh, it's not going to have enough, though. Good dump out there from the Golden Rams to avoid icing. Now they can go on the forecheck. Pinching in Ickes. Forces the puck down into the corner. He's got two Icepack players there, Kaufman and Payne. Back up the wall, Brady able to chip it out. Can't get back to the loose puck in neutral ice. Now Brady has it in front of his own bench. Cross for Payne. He has Prasma at the center line. Moved over for Govea, receives it with the skate, trying to force his way into the zone, but has some trouble in a stick battle with Gaffney. Now Darlene shoots it in. A little over 5 minutes gone in this third period. NC State still trailing 5-4. Pawnee has it behind his own net. NC State will set up the breakout. Wide pass for Govea. Not a lot of options. NC State has to go back to the defense again. And now it'll be chipped up into the NC State bench as it deflects off of Nick McKay. But that was textbook forechecking from the Golden Rams.
Yeah, I feel like they definitely play their best when they're forechecking. I mean, it's also great to have a great back check. I mean, your D really rely on the forwards on that back check, but the Golden Rams textbook, like you said, forecheck.
We'll see if NC State can solve that here with a breakout as they win the neutral zone faceoff. Up the middle for Govea. He's going to try and step out of pressure looking for Gifford, but McKay steps in front of it and shoots it right back in. Breezy has Gifford, who will circle back and pick up speed. He shrugs off the check and skates through the neutral zone now. Plays it off. Shot from Lapani, gloved and held onto by Carciano. And NC State will get a chance for a face-off in the offensive end.
In that neutral zone, your D are kind of looking for you guys to keep swinging. I mean, that creates more time and space and open passing lanes.
So it'll be Finch on the face-off with Tyler Carter. Tied up right there. Raleigh in to help out. NC State wins the draw. And then Raleigh down low. His pass knocked loose. Carter will clear it for Westchester. He's got Crane. Back to the middle for Brennan Whitaker. Slides one on the ice, steered away by the stick of Toyer. Now Finch shovels it back behind his own goal for Lapani. He'll play it off the wall and up. Held in though by Chase Hammond. Down in the corner, heavy hit from Lapani to separate his man from the puck. And it comes loose again to Carter. He loses an edge. There's another delayed penalty on NC State. Hannon plays it back down low again. Pass to the middle, body down. NC State gets a touch to it. And down hard goes Carter after the whistle, but NC State is going to be shorthanded again.
In a tight game like that, this is kind of a difficult situation. You don't really want to put your team in that spot.
Waiting to see who the guilty party is for the pack. It looks like it is a slashing call on Lapani. Golden Rams have capitalized once on the man advantage. This will be their second chance in the third period. Scored a power play goal in the second. As Grace has mentioned, when they get set up, they move the puck really, really well.
NC State right now, you just want to get the puck and get it out.
Yeah, the clock not necessarily a concern yet for NC State down one. Most importantly here is avoiding falling back behind by 2. Hannon down the wall, past the middle, one-timer rises over the net off the stick of Thierolf. Hannon across, one touch back to the near side, into the middle, they score! A tic-tac passing play, and it's Thierolf who finishes it off. And it's 6-4.
I mean, NC State responded quickly after that goal last time.
Now the mountain has gotten a little bit bigger for the Icepack. And an issue with Westchester's line changes. They're making the change too late, so they're trying to get a couple of players who were coming off back onto the ice, it looks like. .54 left in this game. I'm not exactly sure what the confusion is here. They are going to get the right players on the ice now. It'll be Thierolf on the draw against Ammons for NC State. Thierolf wins it. Westchester will control. Ickes up the wall to be chipped on for Logan Myers. No speed past Payne and behind the net. Mason Payne riding him into the wall. Herman there to pick up the loose puck. He'll play it forward, and it's skated up ice by Jack Ammons. Floats one to the middle, misses Johnson with it, but he'll chase it down on the wall. At the blue line, Darlene trying to backhand it down low. Does a nice job of the stick to hold the line. Johnson into the corner with it. Feeds it down low for Ammons, looking back up top for Payne, but he's marked tightly by Myers, and he'll have to retreat.
And Chris, so far, most of this period has been played in NC State's zone.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like the first period did. The Icepack in a similar spot down 2. Here's a chance, though, off the crossbar for Reese Johnson. Just about found the back of the net and gave the Icepack some life. Puck cleared out into the Westchester bench. And it'll be an offensive zone faceoff. NC State inches away from a goal here.
And hearing that sound of the crossbars, you hate to hear it.
The top line for NC State, Kaufman to face off against Carter. He's got Prasma waiting behind him for the face-off win. Goes forward with it, though, and throws it off the pad of Garciano. Pass out for Prasma, slips under his stick and out of the zone. Labrizzi retreats for it. And Prasma again. Finds Kaufman, played forward for Lapani. Knocked away from him by Duffield. Lapani all over the defenseman. Knocks the puck loose. Rady finds it, takes the shot, and we've got a whistle and a penalty. I think we're going to get Lapani and Duffield here matching penalties. Well, I thought they were going to. They blew the whistle while NC State had possession of the puck. I'm not 100% sure why, because it will be a power play for NC State here. So a 2-minute minor on Kenny Duffield. And it'll be the second power play of the game. First time NC State's had a man advantage since the first period. This is one they'd really love to score on. Vea wins the draw back. Ammons leaves it for Prasma. They'll walk in. Down to the goal line. Govea out for Johnson. They can't connect. Prasma finds the loose puck though. Leaves it at the blue line for Labrizzi. Cross for Ammons. He'll look things over. Back through the slot. That hits a skate. NC State holds the zone. Labrizzi again. There's some light pressure, finds Prasma. Walking in, throws one off the iron. Ammons pinching in, can't win the race to the puck, and Labrizzi has to retreat into his own end to create some space here, and Westchester will make a couple changes.
On the power play, you never really want to force any passes.
Prasma turns it over, back the other way. Westchester with a chance short-handed as Kunsakenrath had a couple of opportunities that Toyer had to shut down, but NC State a little bit careless there. Prasma tried to force his way through and turned it over, and almost led to a short-handed goal for the Golden Rams.
Chris, even on the penalty kill, Westchester's forecheck is still superb.
Here's a look at Sakenrath with the opportunity. Toyer again, not a lot he's been able to do on the 6 goals he's given up tonight. Needs a little bit of help from his teammates here. Right now they're struggling in the power play. Dahlin at his own blue line. Wide for Kaufman. A little bit long for the NC State centerman. He gets back to it and fires one wide of the near post. Tried to sneak one past Carciano. 4-man scrum along the wall. It squirts loose, stepping in front. Nice play by Gifford to come away with it. Herman now is trying to skate out of pressure. They'll switch with Gifford. Across for Dahlin. Back to Gifford. Loads it up and finds the glass behind. Herman gets to the loose puck along the wall. Ends up loose in the high slot. Gifford pinching down, can't control. And now Westchester able to clear again. 25 seconds left on the man advantage. Kaufman walking in now. Has Patterson with the one-timer. That one hits the stick of McKay and ends up wide. And the Golden Rams send it all the way down. One more chance to push for NC State. Dahlin with speed into the zone. And the corner stops there. Delayed penalty coming, though. NC State will stay on the man advantage. Puck into the corner. It'll be touched up. And it'll be 2 seconds of 5-on-3 for NC State.
And you really like the sound of 5-on-3 hockey.
The one thing NC State will have to keep an eye on is there's only 2 seconds left on that 5-on-3. Zach Crane ends up in the penalty box. But Duffield will be coming out, and Labrizzi is back near center ice in case NC State loses the face-off to avoid that.
That's a smart defensive play.
But this is another big 2 minutes coming up for NC State. One-timer from Ammons hits the boards behind. It's back to 5-on-4 quickly, and NC State will try and set up another power play. Played forward, though, for Whitaker. Short-handed chance. Wristed wide of the glove side. NC State will skate right back out. Prasma tripped up. Regains his footing. No delayed call here, though, as NC State already on the power play. Loose puck. Squirts back out to the blue line for Labrizzi. He's going to walk it down the left wall. Down into the corner. He button hooks with it and works back up high. 30 seconds gone on this second power play for NC State. Labrizzi with the shot, down to a knee. It's blocked by Ickes. NC State still in control. Prasma along the wall, caught up in his skates as he's bodied up, and he'll step into it at the blue line. NC State big-time numbers here. Pass denied, though, by Ickes. A great defensive play as NC State had 3 guys alone in front and couldn't get the puck there. Now we've got a whistle, and NC State's Johnson's going to be called for a penalty.
I have to say, that was a lot of back and forth. I feel like Westchester was really aggressive on their penalty kill.
It looks like they might be taking... Thought I saw a motion to the Westchester bench. Right now, the only penalty up there is to Reese Johnson. Which should, at least the way it stands right now, it should be 4-on-4. There's a conversation being had with the Westchester bench. Obviously can't hear what is being said, but it doesn't seem to be adding anybody. Well, now we'll add somebody to the penalty box. Connor Kaiser, Doylestown, Pennsylvania native, in the penalty box now, so matching penalties, which should keep it, I would imagine, at 5-on-4 here. And a center ice face-off coming up. 8:34 to go in the game. NC State still on the man advantage.
Tensions are definitely running high.
NC State has a minute left on the 5-on-4. They really need to get a goal here to get back within 1.
This is a perfect opportunity.
It'll be Ammons, Prasma, Herman, Patterson, and Labrizzi for NC State. Gaffney on the draw for Westchester. Icepack forcing it forward off the draw, and the clearance deflects out of play for Will Hershey. This will be an offensive zone faceoff for NC State.
That faceoff, that was a great play. A little hard to execute, trying to get it through the center's feet, but everyone...
Looks like a pair of roughing penalties, the call. NC State in the offensive zone, battling for that loose puck off the faceoff. Caught up in skates, it ends up in the corner. NC State can get back to it. Kaufman looks up top for Dali. Now Gifford spins it down low. 40 seconds left on the power play. Herman with the one-timer. Fought off by Carciano, and it'll be cleared the length of the ice.
This gives NC State some time to kind of regroup and re-enter.
Running out of time now, NC State on this man advantage. Through the middle, it's Patterson. Dragging around one man, pokes it on goal. Save made by Carciano. And one more clear for Westchester. That should just about finish off the NC State man advantage. Icepack 0 for 6 now on the weekend on the power play. Feeling they'll be working on special teams a bit on next week's practice. Patterson leaves it near center ice for Gifford, who will skate it in. Down the right side, he stops in the corner, looks back towards the blue line, it's intercepted. Pitching in, Sodden able to slow things down a bit, but Westchester moves forward anyhow. Melito into the zone as the puck knocked off his stick, and NC State can get to it first. There's Jack Ray. Some space to skate it forward himself. Gains the red line, sends it in, and then reverse hit on Gavin Terity, who came in hard. The Golden Rams back out with speed anyhow. Brennan Whitaker working on Ray, who knocks it off his stick, trying to chip it up the wall. Able to find Finch, and there's a hand pass that will stop play with 6:48 to go.
The Golden Rams zone entry is honestly unmatched so far in this period.
They've had a lot of speed they continue to play with all night. It's made it difficult on NC State to dictate play. That's what the Icepack are going to have to find a way to do. They've got to get back to the way they played at the end of the third period, or first period rather. That's the best they've played all night. They're going to to have to get out of their own end. Right now, Zach Crane down low, looking out in front. That pass denied by Gianconti. NC State can't clear the zone, though. That near corner. Lifted up the middle, but not out as Whitaker holds the line. Jack Ray looking things over. Now he finds Raleigh up the right side. Raleigh stopped at the blue line by Ickes, who will skate it forward himself. Finds Whitaker on the left side. Whitaker's pass closed off by Prasma, who kicks it out without a stick.
That's a hockey play right there.
There's Lapani to the loose puck. 6 minutes left. Prasma looking to the middle. That pass closed off by Theroff. Rams shoot it deep again. Labrizzi plays it behind for Lapani. Now Kaufman. Cross ice. Labrizzi will move forward again with it. He gains the line. Brady with a shot from the wall. Swallowed up by Carciano. We'll get another face-off in Westchester and NC State. We haven't seen nearly as many good chances from NC State this period.
No, but I have to say that was a solid puck movement from the defensive zone into the offensive zone. I mean, Labrizzi came down and someone covered him on the blue line.
So Gouveia to take the offensive zone face-off for NC State. It's tied up, but Westchester has the manpower to win that battle. Behind the net, they'll try and set up the breakout. Swept up the near side. Labrizzi trying to hold the zone in, can't. That'll give Westchester a chance for an odd man rush. Walking in, pass to the middle. Myers dragging. Oh, he can't put it home. Sprawling play, and they score. The third time was the charm. Aiden Theroff picks up another, and some extracurriculars after the play with Lapani behind the net.
NC State's visibly frustrated right now after that.
That'll be the second goal of the period for Theroff. Going to make it 7-4 and really put NC State up against it.
That just shows you the importance of F3 on the forecheck. I mean, he was the last guy in and just got that in the sweet spot.
Should be Theroff from Myers and D'Alessandro. There are going to be some penalties as a result. Gifford is in the box for NC State. Theroff, or rather D'Alessandro, is in the box for Westchester.
I mean, in the third period, it's going to be difficult. I mean, guys are gassed. You have the same penalty kill and power play units kind of continually rotating. So it'll be interesting to see which unit will really come to play.
NC State's going to have to kick it into high gear immediately here. There's a discussion with the captains at center ice right now. I'm sure ironing out what exactly the penalties are. I don't think either of them are going to result in a power play for either side. Here's another look at the chance on the side of the goal. The follow-up from Theroff that finished it off. Like you said, it's just waves of support coming in, and eventually it ends up in the back of the net.
And in plays like that, you know, you're kind of desperate to see any jersey and kind of push them out of the way. So I can see where some penalties are drawn from that. I mean, in the third period, you're kind of playing desperate.
Looks like they're going to go 4-on-4 here with the penalties to Gifford and D'Alessandro. That might be useful for NC State, a little extra space to create. They're going to have to get possession of the puck. Hannon forward for Myers, who's got a couple of goals and an assist already. Theroff, who scored the most recent goal, loses control, and NC State will pick it up. Johnson down the left side. Looking for some help, not there right now. He'll be hit hard into the wall. Heavy hit from Theroff and a good one. Dahlin sees the puck hop his stick. Myers gonna skate past him after it, takes it away. Myers in, drags and scores. That'll be all she wrote here for NC State as Westchester, like they did to North Carolina last night, just pouring it on in the third period.
They're trying to pull away with the lead right now. Truly kept their foot on the gas.
That is a hat trick for Logan Myers, who's got at least 4 points tonight with 3 goals and an assist. That one should really put things on ice for tonight. Still 4-on-4 hockey. Shot wide of Toyer. Brings around the wall. Herman plays it to the middle. Prasma dispossessed though by Ickes. Dylan Ickes, we talked about the play he made to create a goal in the second period as Toyer makes a save on that far side. But defensively, Dylan Ickes has been fantastic tonight as well. On top of that, he's used his defense to create offense in addition. Smith played for Tate Sodden. 45 more seconds of 4-on-4. Smith throws it straight in on Carciano. Breakout pass misses its target. Lapani to it. Finds Prasma forward. He'll absorb a check. Walks in, floats into the middle, and getting a stick to it was Connor Stratton to deflect it out of danger. Heavy hit from the NC State bench by Prasma. Westchester still in control though. Stratton, or rather Ickes, walking forward. Wristed cross ice for Will Hershey. Loose puck picked up by Connie. This pass under the stick of Labrizzi. Hack it into the zone. Back to full strength on both sides. Lapani shoots it in.
And Chris, 4-on-4 hockey is really hard to play. I mean, it's man on man. Can't have 2 people on the puck.
A hit from Lapani on Gaffney entering the zone. NC State can't break out. Turnaround shot from the high slot, blocked on the way through. Icepack regroup. It's Gouveia behind his own net. Having trouble in front of the goal and almost turned it over. NC State still under pressure from the Golden Rams forecheck. 2:35 to go. Shot on goal, glove down by Toyer. Rebound cleaned up by Mason Payne. Another shot hits Darlene on the way in. Gifford receives the breakout pass. He'll skate it up himself as the rest of his team changes. Thrown over the goal. Stepping in Darlene. It's tied up with Carter. Rams are back out. Whitaker. 1-on-3. Obi bodied off the puck by Payne. NC State back in control. Carter takes it right back. Looking to the middle, that pass pops up in the air. Loose in that far circle, work back to Hannon. He'll step in. Steps to the slot, shot deflected, and they score. 9-4 now. I'm not sure who got the deflection, whether it'll be a Westchester goal or whether it'll be Whitaker's goal or not.
Chris, what do you think?
Actually, I think it's going to get waved off here. We'll get a penalty on second round.
Well, Chris, I was just going to ask you, how would NC State respond after that goal, but it got waved off.
I think NC State's been pretty much trained at this point by the Golden Rams. Down 4, there's not a lot of life, I would say, with 2 minutes to go. A chance here for NC State to make some. The power play out in front. Gouveia shot deflects wide from point blank range. Johnson to it behind the goal. Down to 1:35 to play. NC State has the man advantage the entire rest of the game unless they get one. Hammond's top of the far circle. He takes the shot. It's Gouveia in front, and Westchester clears.
I feel like this is a good learning point for NC State because I feel like the Rams have a very aggressive penalty kill. They can see what adjustments they need to make.
Hammonds walks in. His backhander hits the side of the goal. Approaching the final minute of play here at Invisalign. A late one tonight at NC State unable to stay up for the whole thing. Darlene over for Prasma. Will be cleared out again by the Westchester penalty kill. 48 seconds left. Darlene having trouble handling it in his own blue line. Tarity there on the penalty kill. Now Kaufman has space. Odd man rush for NC State. In the middle, Herman right back. Kaufman and Johnny on the spot. Giano makes the save. 34.9 seconds left.
He's been a great asset for the Rams.
We wondered how he would do playing back-to-back nights. He's done all right. Looks like he'll pick up his second win in as many games. Face off one to the corner and cleared out again. This time it's Connor Stratton on the dump out. Collier plays it to the corner. Darlene steps away from the pressure, leaves it for Giancani with speed. Rather Herman. Throw it off the defenseman. Stratton and get back to it. Stratton, though, separates him from the puck and pins it to the wall. 12 seconds left. Knocked loose. Up to the blue line. Gifford. Cross for Darlene with 6 seconds to go. His pass intercepted by Stratton. Westchester will look to clear one more time. A final chance at the buzzer. And NC State unable to make anything happen as the Golden Rams shut the Icepack out in the third period and win this one 8-4.
Looks like there's some extracurriculars going on the ice.
There were tensions the whole time, especially after that hit on Herman in the second. And that was a bit of a turning point. They were pretty evenly matched at that point. I think NC State let that play get them away from their game a little bit too much, and Westchester took advantage of it.
Definitely was a distraction for them, and I feel like they weren't the same NC State that we have seen continually bounce back after that.
Unfortunately for NC State, they weren't able to make it happen in the third period. End up falling 8-4 here, but you gotta give a lot of credit to Isaac Troyer. There's maybe one in that first period where he got beat short side, but outside of that, there wasn't a whole lot that he was able to do in order to help the Icepack win this hockey game. NC State just, again, they were able to score 4 times tonight, but it felt like there were still chances in front that they weren't able to get to like they had last night.
And it truly comes down to helping your goalie out. I mean, in a game like this, you have a dominant Westchester, you have to help your goalie out.
They absolutely do, and NC State wasn't able to do it. The Westchester Golden Rams come down to North Carolina. They beat the Tar Heels last night. They beat NC State here tonight, and now the Icepack, even at this late hour, will finish things up with the pep band, the Frigid Sound, as they close things out. But for NC State, they're going to have to regroup. They've got another tough test against Navy next weekend. They'll play one here on Friday, and then Saturday afternoon they'll be down at Fort Liberty in Fayetteville. Tonight, NC State couldn't get it together for the third period, unfortunately, and they end up falling by a final count of 8-4. We'll be back with post-game coverage after this here at Invisalign.
At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
We talk forever about the future, worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
When you look at me, you might see
a person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
you'll see
a warrior mom,
an endurance athlete,
someone with a lot of fight.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit
is unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
When the game is on the line, championship teams know the game plan. They communicate and work together to win. We all need a game plan to protect ourselves online. Talk to family and friends so they know how to stay safe too. Create strong passwords, turn on multi-factor authentication, update software, and recognize and report phishing, because online safety is not something you want to fumble. Get more game-winning tips at cisa.gov/secure-our-world. Then share them with family and friends.
Children exposed to poor air quality have smaller lungs and higher rates of asthma than children with good air quality. IQ Air Foundation is working to change this, providing filtration technology to school children with poor air quality through the Clean Air for Kids program, helping kids to breathe over 90% cleaner air indoors, removing barriers to learning, reducing sick days, and increasing test scores. This is all key to environmental and climate justice. Find out how you can help at iqairfoundation.org.
Well, I'm looking good. Thank you. Just became a real ID. What's the plan? Impromptu road trip? Actually, the plan is to fly to New York for today's product launch, and then visit the family in California and cap it off with a girls' weekend in New Orleans. You really can just do all that. Sure, I'm a real ID, so I'm good to board any domestic flight. Speaking of which, gotta fly. Nice. Enjoy. I'll be here.
Be your Real ID self today. To learn how, visit tsa.gov/realid or your local DMV.
Chris Lehman and Grace Mottau back with you here after NC State falls to the Westchester Golden Rams 8-4. They did have a lead in the second period, but similar to what the Golden Rams did to the Tar Heels last night, they were able to get stronger as the game went on, and they end up NC State not really having the gas they needed to against a really good Westchester team in the final period.
I mean, it's a late night game, but the message is still the same. You want to play a full 60 minutes of hockey, and I feel like NC State didn't really come to play in the third.
Absolutely. I think you and I talked about it a little bit. It felt like NC State got frustrated at the end of that second period and then into the third period, and it wasn't necessarily showing in obvious ways, but it felt like NC State, because they were agitated with the way the game was playing out for them, kind of got away from what had worked for them when they were playing well and had taken the lead in the second.
I feel like they were definitely a little bit disconnected. I mean, there were a lot of unnecessary turnovers because they were forcing some passes. I mean, we saw it on the power play as well. It's hard when you have a person in the middle. I know you really want to go to them to get that one-timer on the power play, but it just wasn't working.
Yeah, and we talk about Isaac Toyer a lot. You look at the scoreboard and you think he gives up 8 goals. That's not a fun night. Certainly, I'm sure he would say it was not a good night for him. But like we talked about, there was just a lot of chaos in front. And other than maybe that one goal early on in the first period that he gave up, he looked really, really good tonight.
Yes, Westchester really pounced on Toyer's movement from post to post. They saw that he was a little short going from one post to another post, and they capitalized on that.
Yeah, and I think the big thing that was a difference between last night against Temple and tonight against Westchester for NC State was the speed. We talked about with a couple of players on that Owl squad last night that were dangerous, that had some speed, like Brennan Barrett, but tonight there were a few more of them, and there was more speed from Westchester, and NC State, particularly on zone entries for the Golden Rams, were not able to handle that.
No, and we've talked about it time and time again that speed is extremely difficult to defend against.
Absolutely, and for NC State, it was just a little bit too much tonight, and maybe that late start got them off on the wrong foot, and unfortunately for the Icepack, they are going to split the 2 games this weekend. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up with head coach Tim Healy. Back with head coach Tim Healy of the Icepack after they fall at the hands of the Westchester Golden Rams, 8-4. And coaches, we look back at the game. The big difference, obviously, is that third period. What was the difference between that third period, if it was what the Rams were doing or something you guys were doing between that and the first 40 minutes?
Well, I mean, I think they just played a grittier third period than we did. Whether it was more in the tank or whatever it was, I think they had, they found that extra gear that, frankly, I thought we'd found at the end of the second period. And then when, it went 5-3 and Gouveia answered at the end of the second, I thought we'd come out with that. I thought the Vibes were feeling good, but they found that little extra tank and that extra level of grittiness that we just couldn't reach in for in the third.
Absolutely. Now, your team did a good job. Talking about bouncing back, obviously, Joey Gouveia picks up that goal to give you guys some life at the end of the second. But you did that a couple of times tonight where you're able to bounce back, even though you don't ultimately bounce back.
What surprised me, I thought going into the third, this was going to be one of those wild, 6-7, 8, maybe even an 8-7 type game. I thought this had the chance to open up, and it did one way. It didn't really open up the other way. And we had a fair amount of shots in the third, so credit to their guy for closing the door too, and credit to them. A little bit more drive to the net, a little bit harder on pucks in front and stuff like that.
Now you start to look ahead to next week as you got a couple of games against the Naval Academy. What do you want to see out of your team here in practice this week to get ready for those games? I
want to see us be harder on pucks, right? I mean, these hockey cliches exist for a reason. Yep. Most of them are actually true.
Oh, yeah.
And so, harder on pucks, off the wall, stuff like that. I thought there were moments tonight where our passing was actually crisp, particularly in the second. But I thought we were too uneven with it, too inconsistent with it.
Well, a couple of practices to get things ready to go against the Naval Academy next weekend. But tonight, NC State falls at the hands of Westchester University, 8-4 the final.
Good night, and go Pack.